Welcome to a new episode of Mubarak Talks Daily Podcast. This is the 17th of episode of Mubarak Talks Daily. We have a special guest. His name is Alisher Solif. And hi, Alisher. How are you today?
I'm great. What about you, sir?
Very good, very good, very good. Tell me about yourself, Alisher, because we are grateful to have you in our podcast, and we want to know about yourself.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity for inviting me to your podcast. And my full name is Alisher Solif, and I'm originally from Bukhara. It's not a big city in Uzbekistan, which is located in the southwestern part of our country, Uzbekistan. And I'm from Bukhara city. I'm 23 years old currently, and I'm a graduate of Westminster International University in Tashkent. And I'm teaching English to students in Millennium IELTS Center in Bukhara.
Okay, great. Okay, we have heard that you have IELTS score 8.5, and also you have been to America. So what is the key to success to achieve IELTS 8.5 and also to have been a USA? Because we can see the lot of, for example, the things or place on TV, but you have been this, we have experienced these cities. What is the key to success, I guess?
And I have a really interesting life story. And initially, when I was like 17, probably when I was 15 to 16 years old, my parents recommended that I study here in Bukhara Technological University Institute. It's not university, but institute actually. And I really had the intention of learning English. So my parents said that you study grammar for a year and study mathematics and mother tongue for another year, and you'll be studying here. But after studying grammar for 1 year, my grandfather talked to an IELTS teacher, a famous IELTS teacher in Bukhara, whose name is Murad Joraev. And he was basically teaching IELTS, and IELTS wasn't that much popular in our country at that time, in my opinion, at least. So I studied IELTS for a year, and I studied really, really hard. And it was, even though I had the good basics of and foundation of grammar, it was really hard for me to study IELTS because it's composed of 4 parts, right? It's not solely like consists of grammar. And then after studying IELTS for 1 year, I scored band 8, and my teacher recommended, why don't you try to apply to Westminster International University in Tashkent? And I said, why not? Yeah. And he said that I have good chances for winning a scholarship. And then I studied mathematics for a year, and I applied to this university. And my life completely changed when I moved to Tashkent for my studies, and I learned about the opportunities of going to the USA and explored various chances of employment in the capital, because having band 8 opens doors for many chances and of working in various educational centers in Tashkent. So after that, I talked to one of the students, more senior students in that university, who was from Bukhara, whose name was Shahzad, I believe. And he recommended that I can participate in work and travel program. And after that, like, I did my research, I discovered the ways of how I can participate in this program and what's involved. And then it all happened back in 2019 summer that I participated in this program, and I've been to the United States for about
3 months.
I've been there. No, I mean, it was, I think, about 4 months.
4 months.
I went there in May, and I returned in September, in the middle of September, somewhere around there. So I've spent my summer in the United States, and it was tons of fun. And all it happened thanks to English only, and because of a high score in the IELTS exam. So I think, yeah, that's my life story. And currently, I have my great passion towards this language and the IELTS exam. So I'm really grateful for learning this language, and it completely changed my life.
Okay, but how did you learn? For example, how in a short period of time, how you reached that such kind of level of fluency and other things? How did you learn English? I mean, now, do you read the book, for example? Because a lot of students, like, there's a lot of different methods how we can learn. For example, some students, they love watching sitcoms. Their teacher, I think, the Friends sitcom, Situation Comedy, they're very famous. And some students that are like their teacher in Eminem, I guess. Yeah, they learn with the lyrics and other things with subtitles. How did you learn? Maybe you read tons of books, or some another maybe secret method do you have?
Would you believe me if I said that I have never completed any book in my life? Because I can't really concentrate. I may read like maybe 100 pages or 150 at most, but I've never finished a book in my life. But the method I've used is right. But the method I've used is called rote learning. So it means basically memorization of information by frequent repetition. So that's what my teacher used, and I found it really effective and helpful. So I learned through repetition. My teacher said, and I repeated. My teacher said, and I repeated. So this method continued, and in a year, I think that I mastered grammar really well, and I built IELTS on top of that. Again, with rote learning, with learning new words and doing homework, reading and listening and stuff. We basically, when it comes to IELTS, we primarily focused on reading and listening initially. Once we got the idea of how things work, and then we moved to more productive skills like writing and speaking. And at that time, I cannot say that my fluency was good enough. My speaking skills were good enough. And I think I improved my speaking skills after back in the United States, while I was exposed to real American culture. So that helped me enormously.
Okay, and how is your, okay, say, your impression about America? How it feels to be in America, to experience the things with your own eyes?
I see. Well, I used to watch movies about America, and I thought that, I mean, if you learn English, that's going to be a completely new life, yeah, and you can communicate with the native people right away, easily. But the things were not that easy. Even though I had band 8 in IELTS at that time, I found it really tough to talk to native people because they, it was really challenging to understand them, to properly comprehend them, because particularly I would say Black population of the United States, like with Afro-American origins,
exactly,
right? It's really difficult to understand them. So it took me a month to adapt to their culture, to their environment. But again, like, I think I overcame my culture shock and, assimilated their culture and language and everything. But life in there is completely different. I mean, for example, if you are working here and earning on average, let's say 2 to 3 million sums, so you can earn that amount in 2 to 3 days over there, right?
Okay.
So the life standards are high. You can afford many things, and again, like there are two sides to everything, right? There can be benefits and there can be downsides as well, because I mean, their culture is Western, and you may not have the same respect, or I would say, like, traditions which are common to Uzbek people only, like maybe greeting, maybe respecting the elderly, or I would say the family values that you have here in Uzbekistan. Marriage is not taken that much seriously over there. So basically, the mentality of the people out there is completely different to ours.
Okay. But do you like it?
So I mean, I try to take the best of it and avoid the negative side of it at most. But again, like, there were things that I liked very much, and there were things that I still don't like about their culture. So, but I think this is really subjective, and subjective opinion of mine, really.
Okay, but do you recommend like young people? I mean, the future students of America, I can say. Do you recommend them to study there to experience?
Definitely.
Why?
They have world-class education. Top universities are in the United States. If they have the opportunity, they must study in the United States, but with the intention of coming back to Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan needs those people, needs those people with brains, right? Intelligent and smart people.
Okay.
They once they study there, they must come back and contribute to our own nation here.
Okay.
So,
okay.
but before coming back, they should see the world. They should explore new things for them, broaden their horizons, and see the world for themselves from a different perspective, and talk to other people. And having experienced the things, only useful things, they should come back in the end, I believe, because their family is waiting here for them, and their nation is waiting for them. So if it's not them, who contributes to our country, right?
Exactly. So this I understand from your talk that the key to success is to learn English perfectly.
Right. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And this is how I changed my life, and this is what I recommend to our younger generation. They should learn English skillfully, and they should not rush the process as well, because what I see in my students, most of the time, they want to do it really fast, but it's a lengthy process. It takes time. It takes it takes a couple of years
exactly
to boost their skills and to improve their language. It's exposure to that language. And again, like 5.5 or band 6 may give them entrance to a university, but it may not be as useful in their lives. They should boost their scores to band 7.5s to 8s or 8.5s, right? If they really want to be successful.
Thank you very much for telling this, because a lot of students, I know that they are eager to take IELTS. They don't want to improve their English. They don't want to have like good knowledge of English. They want to just take IELTS,
right.
5.5 or 6. Just they want to rush the process. The success or other things, like it won't happen overnight, just like this. It takes a lot of blood and tears, I think.
Right. Yeah. Hard work.
Yeah, hard work and dedication. Exactly. Okay, last question. How, you have the score in 8.5. How keep your this like high level of English in every day to reach the top? It's I think some people say that it's easy, but to stay on top, it's really difficult. You know what I mean, right? What do you do every day to stay on top?
Well, again, it's not top yet, right? Because it's not band 9, right? But I've taken IELTS 3 times in my life. Once it was back in 2016 for my university entrance, and then I retook my exam in 2020. Yeah, it was in 2020, last year, in June, and I managed to get 8.5. So I improved my score from 8 to 8.5 in 5 years. So if it was like, no, wait, 4 years, in 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but to do that, I've been teaching, and I was in the United States a year before 2020. So I think I didn't do much. I was just teaching English, and that was one saying that crossed my mind right now, and it was the best way to learn something is by teaching it. So I was being constantly exposed to that English culture and was teaching everything I know to my students. So I think that's what helping me a lot. And in addition to that, I'm not teaching beginner students or elementary students. I am only working with IELTS students, which means that I'm always sharpening my speaking and writing skills and doing real IELTS reading and listening tests. So yeah, this is how I'm working on myself. And last time I took the exam was this year, 2021, in June, on June the
Okay.
3rd.
Okay. But
So and I also try to sit the IELTS exam every 7 to 8 months, so that I can work on myself and familiarize myself with the format, with the type of questions that are appearing. I mean, the difficulty of questions, not the type of questions, because they are different. So if I sign up for the exam, I work on myself, and I live with the idea that there is always room to grow. And if I chose this profession, if I chose teaching, I should be the best one in it, right? The best teacher.
exactly.
Because that's my job, and I feel responsible for my students and their lives. So I'll try to do my best.
Okay. The question was about like what do you do every day? Like, for example, how many hours do you listen to podcasts? Maybe you have a favorite podcast to listen to. You comment to the students, or do you read like articles, New Science, or Reader's Digest? For example, my favorite one, Reader's Digest, because easy to read, and also easy to recommend for the students like pre-intermediate or intermediate level. So that's why I choose my favorite one is Reader's Digest. So what kind of newspapers do you recommend to read, and what kind of podcasts do you recommend, or maybe do you watch some sitcoms to keep your speaking like and then it's a high level?
I see. I don't really recommend watching movies or sitcoms to students because it's not much of educational quality, in my opinion. Because if they are preparing for the IELTS exam, they are not learning much through sitcoms, but probably wasting their time. That's my subjective opinion only. And instead, what they can do is probably do work on their general English, do exercise books like IELTS Masterclass or focus on IELTS or objective, or improve your reading and listening skills by I think the publisher was Macmillan. And when it comes to podcasts, the only podcast I used to listen to was English Cafe by Jeff McQuillan.
Okay. Welcome to English Pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah, that's him. And I don't really listen to many podcasts. And also, I have listening dialogues, like TOEFL dialogues, I believe that's how they are called. I'm not sure about the title, but I have them on my channel. And I also used to listen to, when I was an applicant, to TOEFL essays, audio versions of TOEFL essays. And they also help their students writing as well, because they give them ideas and discusses topics on many topics. And when it comes to speaking, I think there are some reliable channels on YouTube as well, like e2language.com or Speaking Community by Keith. You should know this.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
IELTS Daily, IELTSdaily.com are all good resources, but run by Chris. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure about the
yeah. I know.
So these are all good resources that I can recommend to students.
Okay. Everybody is unique. Everybody has different opinion about how to improve the English. It's yeah, exactly. That's what I want to hear exactly from our guests. Okay, what was the last recommendation for learners of English, that if they want to achieve the high level of English like you, or to be in America?
The ultimate piece of advice that I can give to students is not to give up, because I know that it's going to be hard. It's not an overnight process, and it might seem to them that they are not making much of progress. And it's interesting how day by day nothing changed when they study day by day, right? They attend courses, nothing changes. But when they look back, everything is going to be different. So it's those step-by-step actions that will make the difference. So they should never give up. They should be more persistent. They should work harder. They should be diligent, and they shouldn't rush the process, and start ASAP as soon as possible. Even if, let's say, they are studying at school at 7th grade or 8th grade, I mean, they should start learning a language, taking up a language, because it's going to be only to their advantage. So my ultimate piece of advice would be not to give up and start ASAP.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. Thank you for
you,
the thoughts, for advices. And we'll hope that we'll do our one more time. We'll do our podcast with you again. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
That was Alisher Saliyev, the owner of the Telegram channel Alisher Post. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.